So, at finally, the episode 7, we're at the most exciting thing, right? That CKGO has to offer, which is to turn all of these research that we just did into a web page, right? And I probably will put this video at the beginning of all videos, just so that people can see what the end product is like, what the final transformation is like. So that they don't lose interest halfway. Right? Let's take a. So you may be looking at this video as the first video in the series, but this is actually step number 7. So here we have done in previous videos we have done research in these like 6 steps, and then finally we're ready to generate a draft. Let's click that, and then in this interface you can select which competitor pages to include in the benchmark. I'm just gonna include these, and since we established earlier that this one is an educational page and we don't want to benchmark, I'm going to unselect that. The context is where all that research goes in. So you describe who the customer is, what are the topics to cover, and there's the instruction. So a couple things to explain here. File mode will likely be gone by the time you look at it. If it's there, don't worry about it. The use custom templates is a more advanced feature that if you have set up custom templates, will directly generate the page in your website styling and layout, right? So that you can pretty much copy and paste that into your website. Allow image generation, it's even if you allow it, it is still up to the engine to decide whether it's going to do that or not. But later on, you can enforce that with a feedback, which I'll show you later in this video. So I would not turn on custom templates for now, but if you already set it up, feel free to turn on. If you have any special requirement here, you can put in your prompts. For example, if you already have this page existing and you want to retain certain information, you can put in here and be like, do include these details, and then paste whatever it is, or anything you want to treat it as if you're using ChatGPT, right? For demo purposes, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave as the default. I'm going to hit this, and it goes into the generation process. This process usually takes anywhere between 3 to 10 minutes. Yeah. I'm going to pause the video and come back to show you what the end result look like. Okay, the results have come back, and let's see it. Okay. Plasmid DNA preparation service with guaranteed yield. Okay. This is what the page roughly looks like. And you can adopt the type. So before we adopt the outline, right, you can provide feedback. Usually what I do is I will adopt the outline, okay, and turn off the custom CSS mode. There's some CSS going on, but don't worry. Click the HTML. The couple of things you can do here, you can either copy the HTML and have AI evaluate it, right? And say, do you like suggest some improvements for this article, for this page, right? Something like that. And then you can just copy and paste its feedback back into in here using the provide feedback. So let me turn off the custom settings. I say provide feedback, and then you can just say, I'll first read it and see if it makes sense, right? Guaranteed yield is that defined policy and all that, right? So converse with your favorite AI about how you want to change it. Once you finalize the idea, put that in the feedback, and it will regenerate the outline for you with the feedback. Let's assume that actually, let me do that one time just to see how. Do 3 things. Okay, I'm just gonna do that. Provide feedback. This. It's gonna take another couple minutes to redo it, but that's how easy you can change this. Yeah. I'm gonna show you a few other editing tips for once you get this. First is that the quick actions provide a comprehensive set of tools that you can use to edit the content. You can first change it to existing templates that you already set up. So if you wanted to use the template that's from your website, up in the custom templates in the settings. and be able to use directly on your website. You can also, the second function is AI edit. You can pretty much ask it to do anything. So if you were to say something like, add a joke about a cat, right, in the subtitle, it will literally do that for you. Okay. If you want to be more explicit and say just add to this particular sentence, you can treat it as if you're chatting with AI, right? So like add a dog joke to the end of this sentence. There. Okay. Now save the changes. In here, you'll say, let's change the icons here. So let's say change the icons to be twice as large or at 2 em, which is a size for you know font size. The preview wouldn't put like now the size of them are changed, etc. So that's the way I edit. You can also ask it to generate content directly. So let's say add another point about we have um, dedicated PhD level customer support and super friendly to work with. Pair it with proper icon. So like that. And it will do just that. Okay. I don't know about that icon, but All right, so that's how you can generate a draft from CKGO. Another thing you can do is you can import. Actually, I'm going to talk about it in the next video.